Hello, I'm Ross Simpson and I'm a solicitor in the Commercial Disputes team at Shepherd and Wedderburn. In this video, we're going to look at pleadings. Pleadings are the formal written statements within court documents which set out a party's case or defence. There are some general principles that should be adhered to when pleadings are being drafted. Firstly, only plead what can be proved. The written case is not the only aspect of the case before the court, but it will underpin the remainder of the case. By ensuring that everything in the pleadings is capable of being proved, you provide a solid foundation for the remainder of your case. In Scotland, it is also important to remember that it is facts that must be pled, and not evidence or law. The style of pleadings can vary from practitioner to practitioner, but the language used should, as far as possible, be in plain English. The failure to plead properly can prove fatal to your case. There are two main routes through which the pleadings of your opponent can be challenged. The first is on the basis of a lack of relevancy, and the second on a lack of specification. Pleadings must be relevant in that all the relevant facts must be pled to allow the remedy sought. This can also be understood as the so what test. If your pleadings are not relevant, then your opponent will be able to look at your case and say, even if all you plead is proven to be true, then so what? The facts pled do not allow the remedy sought. There's a missing link, and this deficiency may allow the case to be dismissed. Pleadings must also be specific enough to provide your opponent with fair notice of the case against them and of the evidence on which you seek to rely. Each party must give fair notice of the assertions of fact that they will seek to establish in evidence and the propositions of law on which they will found. This is to allow your opponent the opportunity to prepare for the issues that will arise in the action. It is important to note the distinction between notification of what is to be proved and notification of how you intend to prove this. It is only necessary for the purposes of specification that your pleadings show what you intend to establish, not how you will do so, and the evidence going to prove these facts. As noted in our video covering the progress of a court action, the procedure applicable to a given action will depend on the shape and the content of each party's pleadings. Usually, legal arguments are tied up with questions of fact and are assigned to a proof. A proof is a trial, as that term is commonly understood. At a proof, each party will lead evidence and examine witnesses in order to establish the facts which their pleadings have offered to prove. However, it may be that the whole of the case or part of a case can be disposed of by the answer to a legal question without evidence being heard. For example, where the pleading of one side are suggested to be irrelevant in law to support the orders being sought, the case could be dismissed without it being necessary to hear the evidence. In such cases, the matter will go to a debate, which is a hearing on points of law. At debate, each side will lead legal argument but may not lead evidence. In the court of session, a debate is known as an appointment to the procedure role. At a debate, the parties' pleadings are taken to be pro veritate, which means that, for the sake of argument, the facts that they have pled are assumed to be true. A party faced with a legal debate or a procedure role hearing may wish to consider amending their pleadings to seek to address attacks on either the relevancy or the specificity of their pleadings. If the court is prepared to allow this, there will typically be implications for the amending party and expenses. It might be that the answer to a legal question would dispose of the whole or part of the case, but that this would require that facts are established before the questions of law can be considered. In that event, a proof before answer will be fixed. This is a trial where evidence is led first and legal arguments are heard afterwards, and then determined or answered by the presiding judge. For more information on pleadings, please get in touch.